Hello, beautiful soul family, and welcome to Weekly Wisdom and Insights, your home for spiritually guided transformation and empowerment. I am your host, Dearjames, and together with the unseen, Spirit, Source, and Symphony, we look at the current energies, the intuitive wisdom and insights, and we go as guided. And beautiful, beautiful, beautiful astrological energies here, mid-October 2025, and it's all about Pluto, Pluto, Pluto. And of course, Venus enters Libra. So there's some beautiful, there's so much beautiful energy in this trine, in this grand trine, and in these astrological energies at this moment. And so let's jump into that really quickly first. And welcome Kiki, welcome Heather, welcome Alicia. We're working with this Pluto direct that stationed direct on the 13th, which was Monday of October. And when you look at the center of the astrological wheel and the aspects, the astrological aspects, you can see there's this beautiful grand air trine that's between Uranus and, pardon me, and Pluto and Venus. And then we have this mystic rectangle, we have the envelope, we have the kite, we have these oppositions. I mean, there's so much beautiful energy in here. And what immediately came to me when I looked at this chart was this aspect of both divine union, but a star is born. And when you look at it, you can make out this beautiful five-pointed star that looks as though it's coming through this upright rectangle, like it's coming through the door. And that there's this, a star is born, and that we're all stepping into our greatest light, our greatest octave of ourselves. And that, of course, with the matriarchal Aquarian era, we the people era, energies and time that we're moving into, it is about our divine union, as above, so below, and soul source connection, and how we harness our greatest nature, our greatest octave, and we offer that to the world. And then in reciprocity, we receive back what we're putting out. It's a complete inverse. We've talked about this a lot. It's a complete inverse of where we've been, the patriarchal, divine masculine era, Piscean era, where it's more been about I, the me, the I, and how then in that, in reciprocity, we receive. This is an inverse. And so, and Pluto's we get to, Pluto leads the way. Pluto is in Aquarius. It is stationing direct. And it's the first time it's moved into Aquarius, and then it's retrograded in Aquarius. And now it will go forward in Aquarius. So it's really in its new sign, and it's gone forward, regressed, and is now going forward again. So there's big energies that are playing with this, attached to this. Let's look at also our main energies, the numbers. It's October, so it's a 10-month. It's treading this cautious advance. The divine union, 15 and 16. So we're going to work with hexagram 15, which is about authenticity, humility, and how that brings about balance. And then 16, which is enthusiasm and excite, and how when we marry those two, they really are limitless in the positivity of what we can accomplish, what we experience. It's a 9-year, which means we're completing. See, there's big completions here for 2025. It's a 9-year. 2026 is a 10-year, new beginnings. And so we have this small restraint, surrender, and then it culminates in a 7, which is army, correct discipline. Army is also known as legions, meaning we have everything we need. At every given moment, we have everything we need. It's simply to recognize that, to connect with that. Now, again, based on the chart that we just saw, the Pluto stationing direct, we have this divine union, a star is born. We also have the mythical phoenix medicine. And then this also came with our astrological influences. It was also speaking to unexpected announcements. And we touched in, so this can be news, travel, fortune, opportunity. So these unexpected announcements that come out of nowhere, and how this, the Aries full supermoon that just occurred on the 6th of October, and then of course a week later, Pluto stations direct at 1 degree Aquarius, and it's 1 degree 22 arc minutes. So here's one creative force Here's 22, the most powerful master number, and it's in Aquarius, stationing direct. And so expect unexpected announcements, news, travel, fortune, opportunity. There's so much here tied into these energies. And it's because, again, as we spoke about last week, that Eight of Swords, well, we're going to be combining later on in the show the the Eight of Wands with the Ace of Swords. And I'll explain how those come together. But let's jump into divine union. It is our main theme, and we have this beautiful divine union. A star is born, Phoenix medicine. And we're going to take these one at a time and go through them. And so, divine union is a spiritual concept describing a profound, sacred connection between two souls or between an individual and the divine. So this doesn't have to be external, that soulmates and so forth. This divine union can be about how we are one with Source, God, Allah, Buddha, the all that is, that it's that divine union as well. It goes beyond a conventional relationship to represent a deep soul level bond with a higher purpose, such as spiritual growth, a shared mission, or a harmonious blend of masculine and feminine energies. That all speaks to Aquarian, divine feminine, matriarchal, we the people energy era. The concept is found in various traditions and is often characterized by intense transformation, mutual growth, and a sense of sacred purpose. And I just want to bring up this beautiful image of divine union, and it's by Danielle Caners at artisticherbalist.com. And she has beautiful images that are very futuristic and so forth that you can go and purchase on her website. Yoga mats, all kinds of different things, actual artwork. But you see in this image the beauty of the divine masculine and the feminine merging, coming together as one, this yin and yang aspect of ourselves. And again, so it's to remember it doesn't have to be an external divine union. It can and most likely will be first and foremost a divine union of soul and self, ego, mind, personality, human, soul source connection coming together in this beautiful harmony and balance. Key aspects of divine union. Spiritual purpose. The unions are often believed to have a higher purpose, such as aiding the spiritual awakening of both individuals and contributing to the collective good. So, this is when it's between people. It's a union of energies. A common interpretation is the synthesis of complementary energies, such as the masculine and the feminine. This is the Shiva and the Shakti, or the yin and the yang, to create a balanced and more powerful third state of being. This Ahura Mazda, that rotary engine that we've talked about, where the heart and the soul, the ego, mind, personality, the soul source connection, it's all unified, operating as one in this beautiful, like rotary, triangular fashion. This third state of being. Deep connection. A divine union is experienced at a soul deep level, often involving telepathic communication and a feeling of, quote, home with one's partner. So again, this can be with another, externally with another. It can also be in that sense of home with your soul source connection, your soul, and this union of coming together and finally feeling whole and at home. Intense transformation. The path to divine union can involve significant challenges and confronting aspects of the self, leading to self-awareness, healing, and growth. So again, we can have challenges that causes us to stop and reflect, or we can be challenging or triggering someone else, an external relationship, so that we all rise, because this is about mutual growth and how we collectively play our roles and then come together and rise. And lastly, beyond romance, while it can include romantic love, the ultimate goal is a sacred eternal bond that is often described as, quote, holy, or a holy union, or a graduation for a larger mission. Because we've talked about how we're going up an octave. We're going back to where we began, but an octave higher. And so this is 9 completions. It is a graduation, a culmination, and all the outer heavy hitter planets, all 5 of them, changing signs within a 14, 16-month window. That hasn't happened in a long, 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 long time. That they have all click, 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 clicked into place into their new signs, which by early spring of 2026, all of them will be officially in their new signs, all, never to return again. Maybe Saturn might in our lifetimes, but because the trajectory around the sun of each planet is quite long. So we have divine union. Now we're going to look at A Star is Born. And A Star is Born, spiritually, the phrase symbolizes the emergence of great talent and a significant new beginning, representing hope, guidance, and a connection to the divine. So again, these energies, where we're shifting to, and we can see, with as we've said, Rome burning, the world burning, it's on fire, so to speak, using that, in an example. It's this aspect of the fact that it's calling us. So all of this shadow work that's happening is really imploring us to look at ourselves. And it's really reaching down within to say, is this the world we want? Is this the one we wish to participate in? Is this the one we wish to leave behind? And so when the height of the shadow is on display, so too is the opportunity of the light. So too is that opportunity to graduate, to transcend, and to elevate, go up an octave. And so this represents a significant new beginning. It represents hope, guidance, and a connection to the divine. The Star of Bethlehem is a key example representing the birth of a spiritual leader and a guide for those seeking truth. In a broader sense, it can also represent the awakening of one's own inner Christ wisdom. Christ means anointed. So, this anointed wisdom and potential to shine brightly in the world. Because our soul is not dim. It's not dumb, as in dim, and it's not dull, as in dim, not bright. It's radiant. It's absolute luminosity. And so we're being called to this broader sense of Christ wisdom, anointed wisdom, divine wisdom, so that we shine brightly in the world. Its key spiritual meanings: hope and guidance. Stars historically guided travelers, and spiritually, they can symbolize hope, wisdom, and a path to inner peace and spiritual growth. Awakening and divine connection. The phrase can signify the awakening of one's own divine potential and the Christ consciousness within, meaning, again, anointed. Christ means anointed, suggesting a moment of spiritual realization. It can speak to new beginnings. A new star represents a new beginning, a transition, and the start of a journey of self-discovery and courage. The unseen is saying to me in this moment, this divine union, a star is born. And we speak about the known star, the Star of Bethlehem, that appeared out of nowhere, and the three wise men followed to the manger where Master Jesus was born. They're again saying, just because this hasn't happened, air quotes, since or again, doesn't mean it won't. And so if it's for us to be aware of a star is born. You can be the star that is born, that radiates, that comes up and out and radiates your light where you've hidden it under a bushel basket all this time. And it's the real you, the authentic you, that comes up and out, that's awakened and that shines. And imagine that ripple effect around the globe, 8.4 billion souls. The Star of Bethlehem, a prominent example, which is seen as a divine sign of a new leader and a guide to spiritual truth. And lastly, shining your light on a personal level, the phrase can be interpreted as a calling to shine your light, which is what I was just speaking about, and fulfill your purpose rather than remaining hidden or obscure. So there is a deep calling from the unseen, this awakening, this elevation, this graduation to shine our innate individual soul's light. Not our ego mind personality, but our soul. And how that light ripples, radiates, and it's an octave well beyond where we've been. And so all of this is coming together with Phoenix medicine. And Phoenix medicine, the mythical Phoenix, and we've had that in a few of the past shows recently. So the mythical Phoenix symbolizes spiritual medicine through rebirth, renewal, and purification. It represents the power to rise from the ashes of past hurts, failures, or difficult cycles by letting go and transforming into a new, stronger version of oneself. Its spiritual medicine can be cultivated through practices that embrace change, foster inner strength, and promote healing and hope for the future. We've talked about emptying our vessel, about purifying, about making space and room for the new, about 23 splitting apart. 18 is remedy, repair what's spoiled. This letting go of the past to make space for the new. And this is Phoenix medicine. So, rebirth and renewal, the most prominent aspect of the phoenix is its cyclical death and rebirth from its own ashes. This is a powerful metaphor for personal transformation, signifying that endings are simply beginnings for something new. Contained within the ending is the beginning, and vice versa. And so, this is, and as we've spoken about astrology, it's cyclical, it's not identical. So this is all of this as above, so below astrological energy and the shifting of the planets into their new signs. It demarks an ending and certainly a new beginning that's at an octave that we've not experienced before. And so as the new begins, the old collapses. We have to make room. It's literally number 2 from the unseen. Necessary evils. Decline of the empire to be rebuilt again from the ashes. Necessary evils means something undesirable but must be accepted. So it's challenging. It's hard to bear witness to these things, but it's a necessary evil, something undesirable but must be accepted. The definition of from the ashes means be renewed after destruction. So again, in order to dismantle, deconstruct the past, the Piscean patriarchal era, the divine masculine era, we are experiencing the height of its goo, its corruption, so that it will collapse under its own weight, while simultaneously the new, that divine feminine, Aquarian matriarchal era energies, this connecting to the soul, occurs. We don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. We want to take the very best of the divine masculine Piscean patriarchal era forward into the new, in concert with, in service to the divine feminine, the Aquarian, the matriarchal, we the people era, in both in their purity, both in this next octave, and how we do that within ourselves. We begin at home. We begin with ourselves. So this divine union, a star is born, to recognize your innate light and let it shine. And how to do that? It's through this Phoenix medicine. It brings about purification and transformation. The fire of the Phoenix symbolizes the sacred fire within. This is your Kundalini, your life force, representing the power to burn away old, stagnant, or negative energies to clear the path for new purpose and clarity. It's about resilience and inner strength. The myth teaches that one can rise from adversity by drawing on inner strength and resilience, which is cultivated by acknowledging and learning from the past ashes, from one's past ashes, rather than being consumed by them. And we've talked about how, our past experiences and everything, they're meant to refine us, not define us. So we're meant to learn from our past ashes, choices, and allow them to refine us. Healing. In some legends, the phoenix's tears are said to have healing properties, which can be interpreted as the curative power of profound sorrow and empathy. And it speaks to hope and immortality. The phoenix is a symbol of hope and the possibility of overcoming even the direst circumstances. Its cycle of rebirth is also a metaphor for immortality, or living on through one's legacy and transformed self. Because our energy is eternal and everything is energy. You cannot kill energy. You can transmute it. We can change it into something else, but we can never kill it. And so this is where we don't want to kill the shadow. We want to harness the energies so that we can harness the wisdom of the shadow because it's teaching us. Some of our greatest lessons come through our greatest challenges. And so we want to be able to harness that energy, but to transmute it, to refine. It's only when we get stuck or we become the shadow that we lose its lesson or its power amplifies and magnifies in a um, less than good way. Everything's purposeful. If that's the lesson a soul wishes to learn, it may do so. It's just, it doesn't have to be that way. And this is true of the world. You know, we're seeing the height of this shadow of the divine masculine, the Piscean patriarchal era. It doesn't have to be that way. It's to what degree do we stop and pivot? Do we alter and make room, empty the vessel, make room for the new to rise up and claim what's before us? How to work with the Phoenix medicine. Acknowledge and accept your ashes, your choices. Honestly look at past hurts, failures, and disappointments. Accept them as part of your story and use their lessons to empower your future rather than letting them hold you back. This is where you get held back when they define you, when you allow them to define you. And that allowing is a choice. We're choosing that. We can then instantly choose to say, no more, no longer. I'm not going to allow my ashes, my choices, to define me or to hold me back. I'm going to release them. Embrace cycles of change. Understand that difficult endings are opportunities for new beginnings. Don't fear change. Instead, consciously choose to close one chapter to move into the next. Cultivate inner fire. Connect with your own inner spiritual power and passion. This is connect to your soul source connection, to your soul, to that true north wisdom. Practice practices like meditation, sound healing, sound baths, or visualization can help ignite this energy to clear away what holds you back. This is about speaking about having personal altars, if you will, and you can have the beauty of, crystals and uh, healing, divination cards and different things that transpire and inspire your energies to shift. It's a reminder. You can place them throughout your home, in your vehicle, at your place of work, so that just a simple image of something keeps you on track, keeps you remembering that you're a phoenix rising, that you're a divine union of soul and self, and that a star is born when you shift lanes, trains. We've talked about that a lot. Get on the right train, the golden train with the golden ticket. A star is born. Your light is going to shine because it's coming from source, from your soul. So cultivate this inner fire and then surround yourself with symbols. We just talked about that, keeping symbols like the phoenix because they serve as a daily reminder of your own strength and capacity for rebirth. And lastly, set intentions. As you move through transformation, set clear intentions for the new life you want to create, using the lessons of your past to build a brighter future, allowing your past lessons, your choices, to refine you. If they're defining you, then we're in trouble. Because then we're going to get stuck. That's stagnation. So we don't want to be in that place. And I just want to go back quickly to here's this beautiful chart. You see the upright rectangle, the star is really coming out. There's some oppositions and squares. Those are the red lines. Those are the challenges. And yet the star is emerging, stepping through the doorway, stepping forward. And number one from the unseen, they said, making an entrance. Your time is now. The time is now. And then I heard bravo, brava, and they said positive response, reaction. So the unseen is saying that making an entrance, the time is now, your time is now. And then there's this brava, bravo, this celebratory It's like having your own applause box. So, and they're saying that when you do that, you're going to receive positive responses, positive reactions. Will everyone be happy for us or for you? No, but that's a them thing, not a you thing. So when you step forward, when divine union, a star is born, you harness the phoenix medicine to do so. This kind of rising from the ashes, your choices, the past, and you make this timely entrance. You come up and out. Here I am. That energy, everything's energy, that light is going to be received positively. And thereby, because everything's energy, so it like attracts like, right? So when it's going up an octave, so will there be those that fall away? Yes, but that's okay. They're meant to. That's purposeful so that you graduate, you elevate, you transcend, you evolve. I want to go to, and this is our mantra, and we've had this a lot. Um, Peace be with you. So that's our mantra, peace be with you. However, what the unseen said is, peace is always with you. Wake up. And this whole, that it's a choice that we choose. And the image is of the rising sun with this rooster that's going to crow, that in essence is um, it awakens the people to the dawn of the new day each day. That's why the roosters crow. So the unseen is saying to us, peace be with you. It's both a greeting, a salutation, but it was also to represent that the divine, Master Jesus, the divine, the unseen, is ever present with us, representing peace. This peace, purity, divinity, light. And so their peace is always with you. Wake up. It's to wake up to the realization that peace is always with us. So the beauty of the mantra, peace be with you. Peace is always with you. Wake up, because it's a choice. It's something we choose in every moment of every instance. So, and then our keyword number 4, which is foundational. And our keyword, and here's this beautiful image of the phoenix. And the word is overcoming. And number 4 from the unseen, they said, overcoming the past, healed. I am renewed, reborn. And so we have this beautiful aspect of overcoming, to conquer, win, and prevail, to succeed in dealing with a challenge, problem, or difficulty, getting the better of a struggle or conflict, to defeat or overcome an enemy. In the Bible, overcome, from the Greek word nikao, means to conquer, prevail, or gain victory, especially through faith in Master Jesus, the divine, the unseen. It signifies a spiritual triumph over sin, the world, and temptation, not the absence of trials. So it doesn't mean, in the star that we're showing, the astrological chart for Pluto moving, stationing direct, it's not without challenge, but challenge is opportunity. So it signifies the spiritual triumph over sin, the world, and temptation, not the absence of trials. This victory is made possible by God's power, enabling believers to persevere through difficulties and secure a relationship with the divine, with Master Jesus, the divine, the unseen. So it's about, again, it's about being on the right train, shifting mindsets, seeking a higher wisdom, a higher octave, a higher opportunity. And I just want to go back to, because on Peace Be With You, our mantra, it conveys a blessing of deep spiritual well-being, wholeness, and assurance from the divine, from God. It is a profound prayer and declaration of hope that the recipient finds inner peace, freedom from fear, and the strength to face life's challenges, rooted in Master Jesus's victory over death and his ongoing presence. There's a victory over the shadow, over darkness, over the fall. and this ongoing presence of the divine that's with us. The phrase also serves as a call to actively foster harmony and love in a world marked by conflict and division. So, again, this peace be with you, peace is always with you, wake up. The rooster's crowing every day. So, we have this opportunity to overcome, to recognize that we can overcome anything. Because again, we have everything we need. It's always within us. We're always connected to it. It's simply a matter of are we choosing it? Are we exercising that muscle, that soul muscle? What what are we choosing? That's what it comes down to. So I want to now go to Pam Youngin's. No, we're going to go to first hexagram 15 and then hexagram 16. So we're setting the stage, and this is from divination.com. So hexagram 15 is humility, authenticity. Humility is rewarded. It's our first, I believe it's our first, yes, it is. Our first quote: humility is rewarded in human affairs. It is the way of the universe to fill the empty cup and to empty the full cup, just as valleys are ultimately filled by the erosion of great mountains. Regardless of your position in human society, humility is a deceptively powerful attribute that is often overlooked. If you are in a high position but remain humble, people will be drawn to you and causes that you espouse. However, if your position is lowly, humility will endear you to those of higher status. True humility is a virtue that benefits all and to which all should aspire. The most successful people are those who know how to bring situations into balance by reducing those who are too inflated and adding to those who are too minimized. Such a person strives for balanced and stable relationships, not power over others. Humility is the virtue that allows you to perceive the balancing potential in every situation, including ourselves. Where are we too masculine, too aggressive, too forceful, and not receptive enough, not listening enough? This yin yang, this beautiful balance, this divine union that comes into harmony. Humble people are not prey to the illusions that spring from self importance. If humility is difficult for you, make a conscious effort to develop a bit of self effacing humor. It's that old saying, fake it till you make it. Become comfortable with being humble, with humility. It doesn't mean being weak, it doesn't mean that you can't stand up for yourselves. You can. It just means that humility endures and endears. And so when you're in a high position and you're humble, people will do anything for you. They love you and adore you. They want for you. However, when you're in that high place and you're arrogant, you're exuding hubris, entitlement, it's repellent. People instantly don't like you, push back, don't want you to succeed. And the same is true when we are in a quote unquote, air quotes, lowly position, because status and stature in life is irrelevant. But when one is in that place, humility also endures and endears, because it then says to someone, this person has great character, great humility, grace. Let me place my interest or my backing, my effort in them, as opposed to somebody that, again, no matter your status, your stature in life, hubris, arrogance, entitlement is a repellent. Humility is a beautiful energy that draws people in. So we have hexagram 15, humility, in with its divine counterpart, because in the I Ching, the ancient divination system, the Chinese divination system, there are 64 hexagrams. They come in pairs. So 15 and 16 would be a divine union, a pair. 16 is enthusiasm. Enthusiasm unleashes enormous creative energy. The effect is like powerful music that inspires great numbers of people, loosening constraints and sprouting new opportunities. The power of enthusiasm is best symbolized by music and dance. These are things that invigorate us, that inspire us. It is guided more by the heart than the head. Good fortune can follow when an enthusiastic leader is a person of strong character, one who is able to guide this positive energy toward a favorable destination. We're all being called at this time and moving forward, matriarchal, Aquarian, we the people era energies, to be this enthusiastic leader with strong character that is able to guide positive energy toward favorable destinations and outcomes. Enthusiasm is a personal relationship or in a group generates special electricity. For instance, when the crowd at a music festival is charged up, the singer scales new heights, and life, the shared experience of the moment, becomes its own reward. And who is not in awe of thunder? Who would fail to fill his or her lungs with refreshing air in the aftermath of a cleansing rain? Arouse the passionate support of others while adjusting your ideas and plans to suit their needs. In this way, you can fill your sails with the mighty wind of popular support. So again, doesn't mean to acquiesce and become something that you're not. It means, it's read the room. It's about listening to what your soul is guiding you to do, and then how you do so in a place of great humility and grace and purity, positive, that creates positive energy and outcomes while you're flowing and adapting with others. It doesn't mean you'll please everyone all the time. That's not what it's about. But it is about knowing that your intention, the purity of your intention, is to operate in a pure and humble, inspiring, empowering manner. And when we do that, when you do that, it naturally attracts the same energy, that same octave, and people rise. Everybody. There's a quote, um, a tide lifts all boats. I'm paraphrasing, but that's the truth of it. So arouse the passionate support of others while adjusting your ideas and plans to suit their needs. In this way, you can fill your sails with the mighty wind of popular support. To arouse others, redouble your dedication and dare to create an environment that is free of tension. Take joy in your work. Harness the power of song and dance in your own way. Sing in the shower. Dance as if nobody's watching. Inspire yourself and inspire others. This is the beauty of this hexagram 15, humility, authenticity, and hexagram 16, which is enthusiasm, to excite, and how when we marry these two together, well, it just naturally rises. It naturally lifts everyone. So now we go to, and welcome, Olivia. We go to Pam Youngin's North Point Journal, and she is speaking about the Pluto effect. And this is, again, it's all about Pluto, Pluto, Pluto. It's number 6 from the unseen. And they literally said, Pluto, Pluto, Pluto. Pluto leads, and here's this beautiful image of Pluto. And remember, Pluto, look at that beautiful heart on the right side. There is literally a heart on the planet Pluto. And so it's number 6, Spirit and Service from the unseen. They said, Pluto, Pluto, Pluto. Pluto leads the way. The way. Out from under darkness, the light returns, prevails, and purifies. So this Pluto, now 246 years later, 47, re-entering, and it's officially, it entered, it regressed, and now it's again officially moving forward within its new sign, Aquarius. It hasn't been there in 246, 47 years, and it's leading the way. It's because Pluto, the god of the underworld, brings up all the goo, all the stuff that's been hidden, so that we will transmute it, transcend it, purify, repair the decay, repair what's spoiled, and rise. Rise from our own ashes, our choices. And so this is Pam Youngin's at North Point Journal, The Pluto Effect. Humanity is undergoing a powerful process of detoxification. As bright light shines into the rooms of our collective consciousness, we are seeing more clearly that which was previously hidden in the dark corners and under the bed. Uncomfortable truths are being uncovered. We are seeing through the illusion and are being given the opportunity to reclaim our power. We, the people. It's soul, matriarchal, it's divine feminine, it's the soul source connection. That is the power that we are reclaiming. This process is due, at least in part, to the planet Pluto moving through Aquarius. Pluto acts as a catalyst for a process of death and rebirth, the phoenix, the mythical phoenix, a transmutation from an old form to a new one. Aquarius represents society and community, the way in which the individual contributes to the whole. Pluto's alchemical effect on our world and our awareness has been heightened since it went, quote, out of bounds in late August. Further upping the ante, the dwarf planet is at a virtual standstill this month as it completes its 5-month retrograde period and turns to go direct. This has the effect of increasing Pluto's influence throughout the month of October. It means when a planet stations, whether it's going retrograde or direct, the intensity of its energies are heightened, amplified. When a planet is out of bounds, more than 23 degrees 27 arc minutes above or below the plane of the ecliptic, its influence is exaggerated. So not only is it stationing, Pluto is stationing, but it's also out of bounds. It's like boom, double boom. It's doubled. The intensity is doubled. Pluto is out of bounds this year from August 29th, 2025 to November 23rd, 2025. During this time, we are observing an extreme drive to control and dominate through fear. However, we are also seeing the deep corruption that has woven its way through our governments and other social systems. While this experience can be overwhelming at times, there is hope. Pluto is currently out of bounds to the south, which plays out very differently than if Pluto were out of bounds to the north. History reveals, because astrology is cyclical, it's not identical, but it's cyclical. History reveals that when Pluto is out of bounds to the north, dictators gain control and the people are disempowered. However, when Pluto is out of bounds to the south, as it is right now, the people regain their power and societies are reformed. So there's historical evidence for this, astrologically speaking. Pluto will be out of bounds to the south periodically from now, 2025, through 2035, for a decade, out of bounds to different degrees in the south. This year, it is out of bounds for a total of 86 days. This amount of time will increase every year until 2029, when it will be out of bounds for 155 days. After that, the annual total of days out of bounds will gradually decrease. The last time Pluto was out of bounds to the south was from 1774 to 1795. These were the years of the American Revolution and the French Revolution. We talked about this in many shows. Colleen is saying this is beautiful. And so, yes, see, we've been talking about this Pluto in Aquarius. Now add to it that it's Pluto in Aquarius out of bounds to the south. You get why this is all Pluto, Pluto, Pluto. And this Pluto leads the way, not a way, the way, the divine, the unseen, the all that is. Again, God, Allah, Buddha, Master Jesus, the all that is. They're saying the arc of destiny moves forward. The arc of destiny is going up an octave. We're not repeating the past. We're not going backwards. We're going forwards to this higher octave of beingness. We're overcoming the past. Healed, I am renewed, reborn. And this awareness of that peace be with you. Peace is always with you. Wake up. Choose peace. Choose it in every moment. And while we're watching the collapse of this prior era, it's a necessary evil, the decline of the empire, to be to be rebuilt again from the ashes, from the choices. Because everything that we're experiencing is based on individual and collective choice. This isn't happening to us, it's happening for us based on our choices. And so it's a necessary evil. Is it painful? Yes. Is it purposeful? Absolutely. And thereby, because divine union, a star is born, and this phoenix medicine, we're making an entrance. Make an entrance. Your time is now. Shine your soul's light. It's what your soul came to do that matters, not what your ego, mind, personality, human tells you you want or don't want. That is the old us. The new us, the new you, is the divine you. It's always been that, but there's a wake-up call here. So now we move to astrobutterfly.com. And this, again, astrobutterfly.com is speaking about Pluto goes direct. Do, quote, more Pluto. Whenever Pluto or any outer planet changes direction, its energy is amplified. Doubly so because it's stationing and it's out of bounds to the south. Well, it's out of bounds. With Mercury, Venus, or Mars retrogrades, we focus, those are the interpersonal planets. We focus on the actual retrograde period, the weeks when those planets are moving backwards. So when these interpersonal planets are retrograde, it's for a much shorter period of time. And so we're more focused on that retrograde period, is what astrobutterfly.com is talking to. But with the outer planets, the heavy hitters, the outer personal planets, it's not the retrograde itself that matters. Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus spend almost half the year in retrograde motion. Instead, what matters with the outer planets is the shift. The moment when the planet changes direction, whether the outer planet shifts from direct to retrograde, or like now, when Pluto shifts from retrograde to direct, this is when we feel the jolt. This is when it's going to be most intense. Now it's Pluto's turn to storm the waters, and Pluto's energy is at its peak. All eyes are on Pluto. Number 6, Pluto, Pluto, Pluto. Pluto leads the way. Out from under darkness, the light returns, prevails, and purifies. Pluto doesn't always have the best reputation, to put it mildly. Most people, even those who use words like, quote, transformation, still fear or avoid Pluto. Say Pluto and you start thinking of death, loss, or endings. But it's not Pluto that brings the struggle. It's our resistance to Pluto that does that. See, it's our choices. Are we in the flow? Do we go with the flow of the energies? Are we willing to empty our vessel, let go? This is all about choice and how we individually and collectively amass these experiences based on choices, ashes, choices. So uh, when stationary, Pluto says, I'm here, tune into my frequency. And if we say, no thanks, just like any signal we try to ignore, it gets stronger and more insistent. This is the cosmic 2x4 from the universe, from the unseen. We get flashing yellows, we get these knowings, we get these warnings. It starts to go into the red zone. It's getting louder and louder. So when stationary Pluto says, I'm here, tune into my frequency, and if we say no thanks, just like any signal we try to ignore, it gets stronger, it gets louder, it gets more insistent. The less we tune in, the louder Pluto gets, like a siren that won't turn off, growing until it's eventually unbearable. And if you've ever been in a home where the smoke alarm's going off and it just will not stop, it's so irritating. Because it's demanding our attention, or it's raising the alarm that there's something that we need to face. Is there a harm? Is there an opportunity to move ourselves forward? astrobutterfly.com. So what should we do instead? When Pluto comes, we do, capital D-O, we do Pluto. We don't run away from Pluto. We meet it. We greet it. Pluto doesn't want us to be stronger just for the sake of being powerful. but resilient for the sake of being agile. See, um, it wants us to be resilient and agile, to go with the flow. I love this part. The cockroach is millions of years old. Dinosaurs didn't make it. Because, as Darwin put it, the species that survives in the long run is the one that is the most adaptable to change. When we have options, when we think ahead, life is less of a threat. And when the anxiety of everyday survival recedes, we have the space and the capacity to discover our real self, real purpose, and live more authentically, aligned with our unique potential. This is about soul source connection. This is when we can hear the divine within us and we go as guided. Soul source connection. And that is the true core Pluto motivation. When Pluto goes direct, the invitation is not to avoid or outsmart what's rising up, but to turn toward it, engage with it, and allow that deeper truth to guide your next step. With Pluto, transformation begins, and this is a beautiful quote. It's one of the quotes that we're using. With Pluto, transformation begins the moment we're willing to meet life on its deepest terms. So, this is a beautiful act of transformation because we're willing to meet it. And it's on the deepest levels, not to destroy us, not to dismantle us, not to harm us, but to bring us into harmony and union. That's what this Pluto, that's what it's doing. And is it, yes, it's the mandrakes. We talk about the mandrakes being uprooted and replanted into larger pots in the Harry Potter series. Well, that's what Pluto's doing for all of us. So they're screeching and, crying and yes. However, against this backdrop of clinging to the past, and yet this huge momentum, because remember, the magnitude of those that are in power trying to cleave and cling and to the past and stop time for cause and effect was last week's um, mantra. There is an equal and or greater force that moves us forward, that sees this and says no, rejects it, no. And that force then comes together, culminates, and energy, like attracts like, and it becomes greater and louder. This purity, this truth, this no, I want what the future affords, not what I had in the past. I've already been there, done that. I've already lived that. So, who wants Groundhog Day to repeat over and over and over and over again? That's very stale and stagnant. Moving forward into the unknown, big smile on my face, that's exciting because it is unknown. And it's to remember it's not unknown to us, air quotes. It's not really unknown to us. Our soul knows the way. It has always known the way. It will always know the way. It's just the ego, mind, personality, human taking a deep breath and exhaling and saying, okay, let me follow you because you know the way. That's where we are. Now, let's conclude with in astrology, it's Astrology by Lauren. And she begins with a quote from Noam Chomsky. There are two sets of principles. They are the principles of power and privilege and the principles of truth and justice. If you pursue truth and justice, it will always mean a diminution of power and privilege. However, if you pursue power and privilege, it will always be at the expense of truth and justice. So, see, it's innate. When we just simply pursue truth and justice, then power and privilege and all those things recede. They subside because we're seeking truth and justice, purity, goodness. However, if we're pursuing power and privilege, they're at the expense of truth and justice. So the purity of our intentions is paramount. It's important. Astrology by Lauren, Pluto Stations Direct 2025. On Monday, October 13th, or Tuesday, depending on where you are in the world, Pluto will station, ending its 5-month retrograde phase. Although Pluto has been in Aquarius for over a year now, this is the first time that it stations direct while still in Aquarius. We spoke about this earlier. There is a certain gravitas that Pluto gains in this sign by stationing direct in the sign of universal brother and sisterhood, freedom, and equality. Aquarius is a sign of the people, and as Pluto gains its foothold here, its aim is to shore up the power, not from the top, but at the base, with the people at large. So this is about Pluto securing the foothold to create the power from the ground up, from the base up, not the top down. None of that trickle down economics and stuff. It is a profound concept and one that is likely to gain even more traction next year in 2026 when the nodes of the moon, where humanity's going and what we're releasing, move back to Aquarius and Leo. For that is when the fates, as it were, the nodes of fate, the fates can step in, tilt their hand, and leverage things in a certain way that will help to facilitate the process. This is why all of the outer planets shifting signs in that 14 to 16 month window is such a big deal. Pluto and Aquarius, first time in 246, 47 years. It's a big deal. It's all about moving humanity forward, revolutionizing humanity, our experience. So it's to facilitate this process. The south node of the moon in Leo, will be in Leo, is sometimes associated with the idea of a fall from power of those at the top, in parentheses, kings, and then restoring the power to the people with the north node in Aquarius. So we can see where this is all going, which is why people are in power, whether it's governments, institutions, businesses, they're all freaking out because they know the writing's on the wall. They know that the power is with the people. It has always been with the people. It's about waking up, overcoming the past. We wake up, peace be with you. It's always with you. Wake up. And this awareness that the times, they are a-changing. We're moving forward. And so this idea that the south node of the moon in Leo is sometimes associated with the idea of a fall from power of those at the top, kings, and then restoring the power to the people with the north node in Aquarius. But even now, there's a lot of support for this. With a trine to Aquarius, Aquarius's ruler, Uranus, a sextile to Neptune, and a trine to Venus, newly entering Libra, we see a grand trine in air, and then creating a kite with Neptune and Aries. We spoke of this at the very beginning of the show. So this is in that Pluto stationing direct astrological chart. Just going to bring it up really quickly again. So Astrology by Lauren is speaking with a trine to Aquarius's ruler, Uranus, a sextile to Neptune, and a trine to Venus that's newly entered Libra. We see a grand trine in air signs and then creating a kite with Neptune in Aries. This is a configuration of great and powerful potential. Almost like a silent and peaceful coup, alliances are forming and being drawn together within a framework towards fulfilling shared revolutionary ideals. Trines are not aggressive and competitive. It's as if they already exist and are just needing the right sort of catalyst to get the ball rolling. So this was that lion medicine about we don't have to roar. It's innate within us. We know what to do. It's gathering together, coming together, peaceful protest, this rising up that is that purple wave that was in a few shows back that just overtakes the past, overcomes it. On October 13th, just hours before Pluto stations, Venus enters the sign of Libra, forming the grand air trine and making all this a little more personal. Whether that's through a personal obsession, a mad crush, or an irresistible longing, Venus navigates the giants at the outer fringes of our solar system and channels their power down into our daily lives and personal concerns. She's going to harness this power of this grand trine. There's Uranus, Pluto. She's going to harness these powers. And in the process, Venus aims to restore the balance in her own way and in her own time. This is divine timing. That may mean drawing some people together with a shared purpose while parting with others. It may mean drawing attention to issues surrounding fairness and equality. This could prove to be a great time for all things Venus: love, marriage, partnerships, justice, reaching agreements with others, achieving harmony, and making peaceful negotiations. However, planets tend to be really strong when they station, and when Pluto, the lord of the underworld, stations, he digs in even deeper than he normally does, unearthing and revealing all that has been lurking below the surface. What is disclosed are often things that we had hoped would stay buried forever: our fears, cravings, obsessions, the wraiths and demons that possess our souls, the things we want to avoid because we don't want to ever have to deal with them or have them revealed to others. They make us feel uncomfortable, disempowered, fearful, ashamed, wounded, vulnerable, and weak. These are the things that need purging. This is where we harness the energy of the shadow to transmute, transcend, to refine who we are. Yes, it can be painful, but it doesn't mean to avoid it or to try to cling to the past. It doesn't work. So these are the things that need purging, the things we most fear. It demands honesty, truth, a lot of courage and humility, and even some heart-wrenching pain in the process. As these stations of Pluto, as at these stations of Pluto, we are being asked, even in the face of extraordinary odds, even in the face of our own fear, even at the risk of humiliation, we are being asked to take our power back where and however we can. When we are our authentic selves, when we just operate in life from the purity of our soul, there's nothing that holds power over you, that holds power over us. When somebody tries to attack or demean or diminish or utilize that in a way against someone, it says everything about that person and nothing about you. And when you just stand in that empowerment and you say, yes, yes, I made that choice, or yes, yes, and you get a next, bye, because it holds no power. This is what Astrology by Lauren is speaking to, that we're asking to take our power back where and however we can. No more avoiding the elephant in the room. No more placating or ignoring meanness, injustice, and cruelty. It is time to confront that which is undermining our well-being as a society, our confidence and our agency and effectiveness in the world. And what is holding us back are our own fears, our own insecurities, our own assumptions that convince us that we are incapable and unworthy of making any sort of effective change. These are our ashes, our choices. And yet, transformative change is what Pluto cycles are all about. Pluto is always much deeper than at first realized, uncovering layers beneath the surface, unfolding our karmic destiny, and revealing our life's purpose. Some ultimate outcomes from Pluto's transits: healing, rehabilitation, and or renewal, discovering something about your purpose that will bring deeper meaning to your life, intensely deep relationships, insights and understanding that are completely change your whole perspective, self-empowerment and discovering what taking control over your own life and destiny feels like, being empowered, coming in to alignment with yourself, karmic beginnings and serendipitous meetings, that un, um, unexpected announcements and so forth with the astrological energies. The absolute determination to rebuild your life and your reputation all over again, even if you need to begin from scratch. This is the Phoenix Rising medicine. And she ends with a quote from Frank Sonnenberg. I believe it's his book, Listen to Your Consciousness, That's Why You Have One. And he says, you have the freedom to choose, but you're not free from the consequences of those choices. So this whole peace be with you, peace is always with you, wake up, it's a choice we choose. Well, you have the freedom to choose. but you're not free from the consequences of those choices. It's a powerful, powerful statement. And last but not least, number 5 from the unseen is swift, fast moving action, events, outcomes, changes. They said, be ready. And this is that we had the Eight of Wands from last week. It's now married, coupled with the Ace of Swords. And so the Eight of Wands represents fast moving communication, energies, shifts, and so forth. And then the Ace of Swords represents clarity. So the Ace of Swords, and this is from tarot.com, is the card of directness, truth, and mental breakthroughs. It shows up when the fog lifts and the words finally come. In the classic imagery, a sword floats upright in the sky, piercing through a crown and encircled by a laurel wreath. It's a symbol of triumph through truth, power earned through precision. The sky behind the sword is usually gray and stormy, but clearing. This card cuts through the confusion like a hot knife through buttered BS. Pluto, Pluto, Pluto. This card doesn't hand you answers, but it delivers a lightning bolt of awareness, a realization, a decision, a sharp word that might sting, but rings with undeniable truth. Upright, this card signals a mental awakening that could look like a conversation that changes things, a sudden insight, or the confidence to speak your mind without apology. This is the sort of discernment. It doesn't tolerate fluff or fantasy. It wants facts, integrity, and intellectual honesty. There's power in saying what needs to be said, even if it ruffles feathers. That can be speaking truth to power. That can be burying your soul and just simply being honest, humility, authenticity that creates enthusiasm. The Ace of Swords slices through the noise with one gleaming message. Clarity is coming, and it cuts deep. This is the moment when the fog lifts, the truth hits, and your mind feels like it's just had a cold shower in a good way. Whether it's a sharp insight, a bold idea, or a sudden shift in perception, this card signals a mental breakthrough. Expect aha moments, truth bombs, and bold communication. So, the astrological influences that we spoke about, but truth bombs was number 2 in the 10-1 show of 2025. Incoming truth bombs. Brace yourself. Be ready. So, this perception, these moments, expect aha moments, truth bombs, and bold communication. It's about intellectual honesty. The sword is in your hand now. Use it wisely. Change is in the air. What does it mean for you? And so we have all of this, and I just want to conclude with um, our second quote. Good fortune can follow when an enthusiastic leader is a person of strong character. Be that strong leader, that person of strong character, so that good fortune finds you and follows you no matter where you are, where you're going, and that you attract the most beautiful, beautiful, beautiful union of energies. Divine union, a star is born, Phoenix medicine, making an entrance. Your time is now. The time is now. It will have this bravo, brava effect, this positive response and reactions. We're experiencing necessary evils, decline of the empire to be rebuilt again from the ashes. Peace be with you. Peace is always with you. It's a wake-up call. It's a choice. Choose. We're overcoming the past. Healed. I am renewed and reborn. There's swift, fast-moving action, events that and outcomes and changes. Be ready. And this is all about Pluto, Pluto, Pluto. Pluto leads the way. Out from under darkness, the light returns, prevails, and purifies all. Can't wait to see what happens next. We will see you next week. And thank you again for your presence, your energy, your comments. Please like, share, subscribe, and follow. It all supports the weekly Wisdom and Insights journey. And until tomorrow, be well and be kind, and we will see you next week.